everyone, it's your boy G Reels here, and I just want to give my quick 2 cents about what's going on with the upcoming film Don't Worry Darling, the next directorial effort from actress turned director Olivia Wilde. Following the huge success that she had with Booksmart, Don't Worry Darling should easily be one of the most anticipated movies of the fall. And there's still a chance that it might be, but there's a lot of behind the scenes messiness and drama that seems to be overshadowing the potential quality of the film. All right, just in case you don't know, Don't Worry Darling is a psychological thriller that's set in the 1950s in a utopian society where everything isn't what it appears to be. Back in 2020, it was announced that Florence Pugh and Shia LaBeouf were cast as the two leads, and Olivia Wilde couldn't have been happier. She went to social media, took to her Instagram page, talked about how lucky she was to have both actors on board, and it seemed like it was going to be smooth sailing from there. But maybe a month or so later, Deadline reported that Shia LaBeouf was leaving the project due to scheduling conflicts, and that's all we heard about that. Soon he was replaced by mega pop star Harry Styles. Again, Olivia Wilde gushed about how happy she was to have Harry Styles on board. She even said that her and her producer did like a big happy dance when they found out that Harry Styles was going to join the project because he was actually on a short list of names for the role. But at first he couldn't join because his tour schedule wouldn't allow it. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic, he had to shut down his tour, and then he was able to join Don't Worry Darling when the role opened up after Shia LaBeouf allegedly left due to scheduling conflicts. Eventually, it came out that Shia LaBeouf was indeed fired from Don't Worry Darling. Now, this wasn't really confirmed by anyone attached to the film. It was confirmed by People Magazine and Variety, speaking to sources who said they spoke to people on the film, but no one outright publicly said that he was fired. Olivia Wilde never came out publicly and said that he was fired, and no one associated with the film came out and said he was fired. At the time, Shia LaBeouf was going through a lot of personal drama, and a lot of us thought it had to do with that. He was dealing with a lawsuit that had to do with alleged assault, and he also was kind of dealing with, issues with substance abuse and just trying to get his life back in order. So a lot of us that were reading this drama kind of just assumed that due to his personal issues, maybe that's why he was let go, because maybe he just had too much going on. Now I'm going to fast forward to a new Variety article that came out at the end of August. Olivia Wilde is doing this big cover story for Variety to promote Don't Worry Darling. And in the article, she kind of goes over various amount of topics in regards to the film. And one of the things that she does is she doubles down on the notion that Shia LaBeouf was indeed fired from the project. She goes on to kind of say that he was fired because he had a bit of a combative energy on set, and it wasn't conducive to the film that she was trying to make. She did go on to praise him as an actor and said that he was a great talent, but at the end of the day, she said she had to protect her cast and crew from any of that kind of negative energy, which is a fair assessment to make as a director. If you want to create like a safe environment on set, it's good to not have someone around that is going to mess with that positivity and bring a lot of negative energy. So fully understand what she was trying to say. But as it turns out, Shia LaBeouf also reads Variety, and the next day he sent an email to Variety personally where he said that he was not fired from Don't Worry Darling. He said that he actually quit the film because Olivia Wilde did not give himself and the other actors that much time to rehearse. And not only did he say that he quit the film, he also provided Variety with a ton of receipts that seemed to indicate that he wasn't fired. In fact, it looks like he did indeed quit, and that Olivia Wilde did a lot to try to beg him to stay on the project. He provided Variety with a series of texts and emails and a video that really seemed to drive home the fact that, yeah, there might have been some issues between him and Florence Pugh in regards to like the rehearsal process. But instead of blaming him for his behavior, in the video, which is now all over Twitter, or you can actually find the actual written part of the video on Variety, they have a full copy of it. She talks about how they can make this better, and maybe this will be a lesson for Miss Flo in regards to Florence Pugh. Like maybe she'll need to learn on how to like kind of work with someone like him, and like what can they do to kind of like make all of this better? Would he still continue to be on this journey with her? Like what could she do to kind of make this right? Now that doesn't sound like someone to me that fired someone. That sounds like someone who was begging someone to come back that actually quit. Now, the interesting thing about the email that he sent to Variety is that he also sent a copy of an email that he sent to Olivia Wilde in response to her latest Variety story. And he essentially called her out to basically fix this current narrative about what's going on with what happened with him in the film. He has a daughter now. He already knows that she's going to read so many things about him that aren't flattering, that actually did happen, that he doesn't want something out there that he believes didn't happen for her to read. I mean, there's already so many things that she's going to have to take in, and he doesn't want this kind of false narrative to be out there about himself if he can help it. So he implored her to kind of come out and, I guess, tell the truth and to make this right. While also complimenting her on, basically, I hope the film's a success and I hope, it does everything you want it to do. But he also called her out for using the whole him being fired as a form of clickbait to kind of promote Don't Worry Darling, which seems to be going on a lot with the film lately too. Outside of the like Shia LaBeouf, like, was he fired? Did he quit drama? There's a lot of stuff going on with actress Florence Pugh as well, who complained to Harper's Bazaar that she was tired of talking about in the press in regards to the film about her sex scenes with Harry Styles, because she believes that the film is much more than, the few or couple of sex scenes that she has with this guy. Even though she's aware that he's one of the biggest stars in the world, she doesn't want the film to be reduced to essentially just talking about like what was it like to simulate sex with Harry Styles. And she says she's refusing to answer any questions about that. Now, the interesting thing, after this whole Variety piece drops, and then Shia LaBeouf said his 2 cents, it was rumored that Florence Pugh is actually pulling out of most of the press for Don't Worry Darling. She will be around for the Venice Film Festival to kind of promote it there, but they said that she'll be doing minimal press for the film moving forward after that. Now, some are saying it's because she has to shoot Dune Part 2, which is fair and actually quite true. But a lot of other people are saying, since Don't Worry Darling and Dune Part 2 are both Warner Brothers movies, that the studio would have worked something out for this bright, young, popular actress to be able to promote this splashy new psychological thriller that could have some awards potential, that could actually do decent box office if it's promoted right, that they would do what they need to do to get her out there to promote the film. What it sounds like to me is that there is some internal drama going on, and that's why Florence Pugh doesn't really want to be involved with much of the promotion for the film anymore. Now, to me, at the center of this, it all starts at the top. Just reading what Shia LaBeouf presented and the video and some of the text that Olivia Wilde sent, it doesn't sound like to me that she fired him. It sounded like he quit, and this was a narrative that she needed to spin because this is a much better negative to sell as clickbait. As he said that you're selling Fire Me as clickbait because he's currently persona non grata in the industry, and he knows that he may be like that for a pretty long time. But since he's in a better place, since he's trying to deal with his issues, since he's been sober for quite a while now, I think he's in a place that's good enough where he's like, I don't want this false narrative to be out there about me, and I want to put my 2 cents out there so everyone knows what my truth is. Now, this is an issue of like he said, she said, but so far it's only him saying something now because she hasn't come back and said anything about his claims about not being fired and the fact that he merely quit. What it means for the film moving forward, a lot of people say that there's no such thing as bad publicity, and that could be true. Some people will hear this drama and like it will make them more interested in wanting to see Don't Worry Darling. I know for me, someone that like does press and wants to just see a film to see a film, a lot of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes is kind of murking up the waters a little bit, and it's kind of making the film not as desirable to see. We'll have to see what happens moving forward. If like this publicity is bad enough to make people like not want to see it, or if it makes them want to see it more. I just think it kind of gets in the way of what should have been a really good celebration of Olivia Wilde's second directorial effort following the success she had with Booksmart. The fact that she was pivoting away from what she did with Booksmart and trying something very new with Don't Worry Darling. We should be celebrating how potentially good this movie is, and instead, there's a lot of he said, she said drama, a lot of rumors, and I even touched on all of them. Some of them involve her not getting, or Florence Pugh and her not getting along anymore because of, a lot of stuff going on with Harry Styles getting paid 3 times as much as Florence Pugh, and then, rumors now that perhaps after reading what she read in this new Variety piece and what Shia LaBeouf had to say, and after seeing that video, that maybe they're not getting along right now. There's just a lot more of that going on with the film instead of focusing on the film's quality. And I actually feel bad for the other people that are in it. You got Chris Pine, Gemma Chan, Nick Kroll, Kiki Lane, so many other people that worked on this, and they're not getting mentioned at all. It's all about Shia LaBeouf, who's not even involved with the film anymore, Olivia Wilde, Florence Pugh, and Harry Styles. And the fact is, I don't know how you promote the film now because Florence Pugh is going to sit out for some of it, I guess. She's only going to do minimal press. So that means Harry Styles will either do press alone or he'll do it with Olivia Wilde. But I would imagine they'll be bombarded with questions about their relationship, which will also overshadow the film. So the whole thing is unfortunate. I would like to hear what you guys think about, what's going on with all this. Do you think that Shia LaBeouf was fired? Did he quit? Does all this drama make you kind of want to stay away from Don't Worry, Darling? I would love to, hear what you guys have to say and hopefully start up a good conversation in the comments. Thanks, guys.